In the heart of Brooklyn, 1929, a legend was born. Joseph Gallo, or as the world would later know him, Crazy Joe. Just a stone's throw away from the hustle and bustle of New York City's towering skyscrapers, amidst the narrow streets and tightly packed brownstones, a young Joseph Gallo first opened his eyes. Born into an Italian-American family, his childhood was steeped in the traditions of the old country, a world away from the promise of the American dream. His father, a small-time bootlegger, painted a vivid picture of life on the other side of the law. From a young age, Crazy Joe was immersed in this underworld, the family business, learning the ropes in the shadowy corners of Brooklyn's mob-infested neighborhoods. It was here, in these early years, that the seeds of his future were sown. His upbringing was far from ordinary, and it wasn't long before young Joe was drawn into the family business. His early exposure to the world of crime, the allure of power and wealth, was too strong to resist. But it wasn't just the lure of the underworld that shaped him. It was the fierce loyalty to family, the unwavering commitment to the code of omerta, the law of silence that truly defined him. He was quick to make a name for himself. His unpredictable nature, his wild antics, earned him the nickname Crazy Joe. He was a man who danced to the beat of his own drum, a man who wasn't afraid to take risks, to ruffle feathers. His audacity, his fearless approach to life, and his unapologetic pursuit of power quickly put him on the map. And so, Crazy Joe Gallo was born. From the streets of Brooklyn he rose, carving out a name for himself in the annals of New York's notorious underworld. His story, his legend, was just beginning to unfold. Even as a young man, Crazy Joe had a reputation that preceded him, a reputation that would soon echo through the underworld of New York City. As Crazy Joe grew older, so did his ambition and his thirst for power. Joseph Crazy Joe Gallo was not a man to be underestimated. His rise to power in the mafia world was steeped in audacity and ruthlessness, traits that would both catapult him to the top and eventually lead to his downfall. In the beginning, Crazy Joe was just another member of the Profaci crime family, but his audacious moves quickly caught the eye of the mafia bosses. With his crew, the Gallo brothers, he started making bold moves, not afraid to step on some toes, not even those of his own family. This audacity, coupled with his cunning mind, propelled him up the ranks. His thirst for power, however, was not quenched. He yearned for more. He was not content to merely be a participant in the mafia world. He wanted to dominate it. And so he began to forge alliances with other powerful figures in the underworld, further expanding his influence and reach. But Crazy Joe wasn't just about making friends. He was infamous for his war with the Profaci family. This war was a bold move, even for Crazy Joe. It was a direct challenge to the authority of the Profaci family, a risk not many would dare to take. But Crazy Joe was not most people. He was fearless, ruthless, and relentless. The war was brutal, with both sides suffering heavy losses. However, it was this very war that bolstered Crazy Joe's reputation. He was seen as a man who would stop at nothing to get what he wanted, a man who was not afraid to wage war against his own family. It was this image of a fearless and ruthless leader that cemented Crazy Joe's place in the mafia world. Crazy Joe was not just a name, it was a terrifying symbol of power and ruthlessness in the underworld. It was a name that commanded respect, a name that invoked fear. It was a name that would go down in history as a symbol of an era when the mafia ruled the streets of New York. But like all empires built on blood and betrayal, Crazy Joe's reign was not to last. The groundwork for his downfall was laid with his imprisonment in the late 60s. His incarceration, ironically, was not for a mafia-related crime, but for a failed extortion attempt. He was sentenced to 10 long years, a major blow for a man at the height of his power. While behind bars, Crazy Joe found time to delve into literature, developing a fondness for Nietzsche and Machiavelli, philosophers known for their exploration of power and morality. In the silence of his cell, Crazy Joe seemed to be contemplating his life, perhaps even regretting his choices. But fate had other plans. His release in the mid-70s was marred by the reality of a fractured mafia world. The Colombo family, which he had once been a part of, was embroiled in a power struggle, and Crazy Joe found himself in the crossfire. His end came abruptly, on a chilly April night in 1972. The details surrounding his assassination remain shrouded in mystery. Some say it was a planned hit by the Colombos, while others whisper about a lone gunman seeking revenge. Regardless of the truth, Crazy Joe met his end in a hail of bullets while leaving behind a legacy as tumultuous as his life. The aftermath of Crazy Joe's death sent shockwaves through the underworld. The mafia world was left in disarray. His absence was felt keenly, leading to a power vacuum that took years to fill. His violent end served as a grim reminder of the dangers that come with a life of crime, a lesson that many in his world took to heart. Yet, despite his downfall, Crazy Joe's influence on the mafia world was undeniable. His audacious tactics, his ruthless ambition, and his larger-than-life persona left an indelible mark on the underworld. His story continues to fascinate, a tragic tale of a man consumed by his lust for power. In death, as in life, Crazy Joe left a mark on the world that was hard to ignore. Crazy Joe Gallo was not just a man, he was a legend, a symbol of an era that was both terrifying and fascinating. Born into the heart of Brooklyn, he swiftly rose through the ranks of the mafia, earning his nickname for his unpredictable and volatile nature. His life was a whirlwind of power struggles, audacious plots, and brutal violence, a testament to the brutal realities of organized crime. Gallo's influence extended beyond the mafia world. His audacious life inspired countless movies, books, and songs, embedding him in popular culture. His brazen attitude and larger-than-life persona made him a subject of endless fascination, a symbol of the dangerous allure of the underworld. But Crazy Joe's life also offers a stark lesson. His relentless pursuit of power ultimately led to his downfall, a sobering reminder of the fleeting nature of power and the inevitable consequences of a life of crime. In the annals of the underworld, the name Crazy Joe Gallo continues to resonate, a chilling reminder of a man who lived by the sword and died by it.